And then, I mean, we had a question briefly just in terms of, obviously we're not of the belief that, what we have is incredibly proprietary, and we're not happy to, have a conversation that's going to end up online. But certainly there may be some questions that you ask us that we may be more sensitive to divulging information.
And just say, that happens sometimes. When people say, I don't want this to be on the internet because it's my, my marketing strategy secret or some secrets. Just say this is secret. If you want to know this, I'll ask you later. But in general, it's not. Well, I don't really need to know the secrets. As long as you have that secret, I would say just okay. You have the secret. You know how to do it. It's okay. We just have an hour. I'm not gonna go deeper and deep inside your business. I just need to. I'm not in general investing into secrets or ideas. I'm investing into people.
Yep.
So we don't judge you. I'm not an expert in what you're doing because you understand it way better than me, and I don't want to be an expert in your business. I'm trying to be an expert in your understanding, in entrepreneurs, in business people. So my main goal is to understand whether you are realistic people and close to reality, or you're just dreaming, and my money will be wasted.
Yes, the business that Alan and I are partnered on is called Showgoers. It's at showgoers.tv, and the idea really is saying when people are watching movies or TV shows, more and more people are doing it on their laptops or on their phones instead of in the living room on a big TV, and more people are doing it entirely by themselves. So there is no longer the social element of getting all your friends together and watching the latest Game of Thrones. You'll do it individually, and as a result of that, people are losing a lot of the shared experience of being a fan of something and having engagement and sharing sort of jokes and everything else. And Alan initially came up with a business idea and did the first rounds of coding to it to say, is there a way to be able to watch the same Netflix show or other digital content synced in real time, so someone else is watching the exact same content synced at exactly the same point in the movie or show, and yet have a shared experience over digital chat at this point, or in time, video and a lot of other things, to expand on the experience of what you're doing. And the early gestation and how Alan came up with the idea was he was dating a woman who lived in Boston at the time, and Alan was here in San Francisco, and they were both big movie buffs. They both enjoyed watching movies that they had when they were in the same geography, and Alan hacked together a solution to say, hey, this is pretty frustrating, sort of sitting on the phone and going like 3, 2, 1 play, and then someone will buffer and then you'll be out of sync, and even if you're off by 4 seconds, like if it's a comedy and like the person is laughing 3-4 seconds before you hear the joke, it's negative to the experience, and the whole point is to extrapolate and expand on the experience. And so the current technology is a Chrome plugin, Chrome extension that allows people, each person in the watching party needs to have a Netflix account. So we're exclusive to Chrome and exclusive to Netflix content at this point, or obviously there's sort of growth on both of those sort of angles from where we are. And it can be 2 people watching a movie in a sort of closed group. It can be 10 of your friends from university or any group together, again watching it in a closed group. And more, certainly as the code has come along, we now have the ability for people to have public watching parties.
What's the plan now? In terms of business.
So
what are you looking for? What you're going to use them for? Tell me the big picture.
So Sven already kind of mentioned 2 of the things that we want to improve moving forward, which is, 1, it's unfortunate that we only support Chrome, and it's unfortunate that we only support one video content provider. Chrome on Netflix is great, and a lot of users use that, but that's not the point. The point is, do people want to watch movies with other people online? The other aspect is in the early days, I really wanted to focus on getting this synchronization and the basic chat functionality down without bugs, and users really respond to that well. But now that that's covered, I guess phase 2, if you called it that, would be take all of the standard playbooks for building a community, say, such as Twitch, and you can apply that to the same Showgoers experience, which is so. Well, right now last Friday I joined a watching party where we watched one of my favorite movies, Hackers, with some guy, and we had a lot of fun, but maybe in the future, if he is watching a movie, I would want to know if he's watching a movie. So basically some of the more advanced user model aspects, like building a profile, being able to follow other people, being able to like what people say in chat, keeping track of that.
It looks really cool. I mean, the product looks nice. I like it. It has the potential. What I don't like is your strategy, how to make it big. You had a spike in the start. You had a spike on this hacker news, and people just immediately jumped into the product because it was something new. And the idea is good. The idea is like people really need that. People love to use it. So you had the spike, and after that spike, you started to work on that. And now you have this kind of growth. So you just slowly goes, not slowly, 20% per month. It's a good rate for many companies, but it's not good enough for a company for a startup. So you need to jump higher and faster and sooner, because for me it's not comfortable to give money for any investor. It's not comfortable to give money to anyone who will grow 20% a month. Because first of all, it's not fast enough, because I will be getting my money back in 5 years. I don't want that. I want my money back in a year. So you don't have, the missing part here is in everything you just presented me. The missing part is the clear explanation of how you will be a multi-million company soon. You just missed this part. Because telling me about that, we're going to sustain the growth, we're going to keep the features, we're going to add the features, we're going to maintain the work, we're going to please our customers. I don't need that. I don't want you to spend the money on that. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of money. You will just burn my 6,000 and you will come back to me in a month. Nothing will happen. You will just have, if now you have 200 shows going on, you will have 220. And that's it. Which means my money will go to nothing. I want not 220. I want 200,000 of them being at the same time online. How to jump from 2,000, how to jump from 200 to 1,000, it's possible, but you're not thinking about that for some reason. I don't know why, I'm not going to get into that, but you're not thinking about that. And this is the missing part. So you're a good engineer, you created that. It's not a complex product. There is not a lot of intellectual property there. There is something, like you just said, you worked on this WebSockets and like synchronization and all that. That took you some time, but it's not a rocket science. I mean, we cannot patent that, right? So we cannot just say that only we know how that works. So you made a nice product, which is kind of, which is a Chrome plugin in the first place. So it's not huge. And it may become big, but there are a number of directions which you can go, but you're not considering any of them. So there is one wrong direction and there are a number of right directions, but you're now staying on the wrong direction, which means keep going the way you're going right now. Keep developing, maintaining, and just slowly growing up. Which means that eventually, at one moment of time, another company will show up and just jump over it, and that's it. Because you're moving too slow. There are a number of directions which you can go. The first one, you can sell this stuff to Netflix, for example. Just go there and say, okay guys, I created something, how about we sell you this whole technology plus you will stay working there, you will become part of Netflix, and they will buy you for $5 million. And they will just add new nice feature on their viewer, which will be called synchronous watching with other people. That's a good strategy. In this case, I give you 6,000 or I don't know, 20,000. You go to Netflix, and then in a few months you're there, and I'm getting my $100,000 back. Good for me. That's one path, which is the right one. Another one path is that you would say, you know what? Now we're actively looking for investors. We're actively looking for, not just considering an option to apply to Y Combinator, but now we're talking to like 5 investors in parallel and trying to sell this stuff to them. I mean, to get investors on board. In this case, it's also good for me because in this case, getting big money, you have a potential to make this, big fast. Right. Because just with you and just with doing like, routine marketing, using a few thousands there, a few thousands there, it's not the way to become, like I said, you cannot be 200,000 online shows if you're just using a few $1,000s. If you're using a few $100,000, just aggressively, then you have a chance to build this platform. I mean, make it way bigger, make it a platform.
Yeah.